Why do eggs help some people lose weight and leave others completely stuck? If you've ever eaten eggs every morning and watched the scale move one way and another person eats the same breakfast with no change, there's a simple explanation and a single practical rule that makes the difference. I'm a doctor, and I'll explain the mechanism in plain language, show you the exact breakfast that gives your metabolism the best chance to burn fat, and give you an easy self-test to know if your breakfast is working. First, let's bust a common myth. Healthy doesn't automatically equal weight loss. Labels like low-fat or whole grain don't guarantee your body will shift into fat-burning mode. The real driver is a hormone called insulin. Think of insulin as a switch. When it's high, your body favors storing energy. When it's low, your body favors burning stored fat. Insulin isn't the only factor, but it is the dominant signal that tells your body whether to store or to release fat. That's why the composition of your breakfast matters more than whether it looks healthy on a package. Eggs are a powerful breakfast anchor because they tend to keep insulin low while helping you feel full. They contain complete protein, all the essential amino acids your body needs, and that protein is very effective at quieting hunger signals. Eggs also contain fat, which slows digestion and smooths blood sugar. Together, that protein plus fat combo helps stabilize energy and blunt the blood sugar swings that create intense cravings later in the day. Compare two breakfasts. A bowl of sweetened cereal or toast and orange juice can leave you hungry within an hour. Quick carbs raise blood sugar. Your pancreas responds with an insulin surge, and that insulin tells your body to store fuel rather than burn it. By mid-morning, you're reaching for snacks. Contrast that with 2 or 3 eggs, scrambled with spinach and mushrooms. You're more likely to feel satisfied for 4 to 6 hours. Your energy stays steady, and cravings are reduced. That difference makes it much easier to stick to sensible eating across the day. But here's the catch. Eggs alone don't guarantee fat loss. The problem happens when you pair eggs with sugar or refined carbs. 2 eggs with jam-topped toast or eggs with orange juice and a sweetened coffee drink will still provoke a blood sugar and insulin response from those carbs. In other words, you can eat eggs and simultaneously flip the metabolic switch back to storage by adding sugary or refined items. That's why some people eat eggs daily and still don't lose weight. The pairing is what undoes the benefit. So what does the best egg breakfast for weight loss look like? I use a simple 3-part formula that I recommend to patients and that you can use immediately. It's short enough to remember and specific enough to follow. Protein anchor, fiber-rich vegetables, no sugar or refined carbs. Start with the protein anchor. For most adults, that means 2 to 3 eggs. 2 eggs are a lighter option. 3 is a great default for people focused on fat loss. 4 is reasonable for very active people or those with larger calorie needs. The eggs are the main source of complete protein. They keep hunger signals quiet and help stabilize blood sugar. Next, add fiber. And by that I mean vegetables. Spinach, kale, tomatoes, peppers, mushrooms, onions. These are all excellent. Vegetables add volume, slow digestion, blunt any small rises in blood sugar, and boost satiety without a lot of calories. A quick omelette with a generous handful of spinach and sautéed mushrooms, or a plate of scrambled eggs folded with tomatoes and peppers is an easy, practical choice. Finally, no sugar. That means skipping juices, jams, sweetened coffee drinks, pancakes, waffles, syrup, sweetened yogurts and sugary cereals. Also, avoid white toast, bagels and pastries when your goal is fat loss, because they act like refined sugar in the body. If you want a small carbohydrate with your eggs, choose a high-fiber option, like a small portion of beans, half an avocado, or a slice of sprouted grain bread in moderation. But prioritize vegetables first. A couple of small fat notes. Fat itself is not the enemy. A little olive oil or a few slices of avocado are fine and can help you feel fuller. But fat is calorie-dense, so it's easy to turn an otherwise ideal breakfast into a caloric overload if you pile on butter, cheese, heavy cream, or large amounts of oil. Think of fats as a finishing touch, not the base of the meal. Here are concrete good and bad examples, so you can visualize the difference. Good. 2 scrambled eggs with spinach, mushrooms and cherry tomatoes, a few slices of avocado, and black coffee or unsweetened tea. Likely satisfied for 4 hours. Better for an active person. 3 eggs, mixed vegetables, a small spoonful of olive oil used for cooking, and a piece of fruit later in mid-morning if needed. Bad. 2 eggs plus 2 slices of white toast with jam and a glass of orange juice. Even though you ate eggs, the sugar and refined carbs will likely raise insulin and reduce fat burning. Worse, eggs with a large portion of cheese and a sweetened latte, plus a pastry. That's a calorie-heavy insulin-triggering combo that undermines the egg's satiety benefit. Quick practical rules you can use today. If you're hungry again, within 60-90 minutes after breakfast, that meal wasn't right for you. That hunger window is your thermostat. For most adults, 60-90 minutes to hunger means too many carbs or too little protein fiber. 4+ hours of comfortable satiety suggests you hit the right balance. Use that test rather than obsessing over exact calories in the moment. Now, some people have conditions that require a little tweaking. If you have reflux, very greasy or heavily spiced eggs can worsen symptoms. Choose gentler cooking methods. Poached, soft-boiled, or lightly scrambled with minimal oil, and emphasize cooked vegetables like steamed spinach and mild peppers. If you have known gallbladder sensitivity, very high-fat breakfasts can be uncomfortable. Keep added fats modest, increase the vegetable portion, and consider slightly smaller egg portions until you know how your body responds. In all cases, listen to your body and consult your healthcare provider for personalized advice. Another frequent mistake is cooking method and hidden calories. Deep frying eggs, drowning them in butter, or loading an omelette with large amounts of cheese turns a low insulin breakfast into a caloric mountain that slows weight loss because the extra calories matter. Moderation is key. Modest, healthy fats are useful. Mountains of added butter are not. Why does breakfast matter beyond the morning? Because breakfast sends a metabolic signal that shapes your appetite and energy later in the day. A breakfast that avoids big insulin swings makes lunch easier, reduces mid-afternoon carb cravings, and lowers the chance of evening overeating. In short, a stable morning makes the rest of your day less battle-filled. That's why swapping a sugar-heavy breakfast for an egg and vegetable meal can feel like you've gained willpower. You haven't. You've changed the signals your body is receiving. Let me give you one more practical tip. Meal prep. If mornings are rushed, scramble a batch of eggs with vegetables the night before, portion into individual containers, and reheat gently. Another option is hard-boiled eggs paired with a baggie of raw vegetables and a small container of hummus or an avocado. The key is keeping the 3 elements intact: protein anchor, fiber from vegetables, and minimal sugar. And let's be clear about expectations. Following this approach improves the metabolic context for weight loss by lowering insulin surges and improving satiety, which makes adherence easier. It does not guarantee a specific number on the scale for every person. Weight change depends on overall energy balance, activity, sleep, stress, and individual variability. Think of this breakfast as a reliable tool in the toolbox that reduces a major metabolic obstacle to fat burning. If you want an easy phrase to keep in mind, focus on protein and vegetables, avoid sugar, protein anchor, fiber, no sugar. Say it to yourself while you plan breakfast, and it will quickly become second nature. Now, a quick question for you. What do you usually eat with your eggs? Write it in the comments. I read them and I'll respond to common patterns I see. That little detail helps me tailor future videos to what people actually do at breakfast. To put everything together in one memorable line, Eggs on their own are a helpful low insulin anchor, but when you add sugar or refined carbs, you cancel that advantage. So, the best egg breakfast for weight loss is the one that follows the three-part rule. A solid protein base of 2 to 3 eggs for most adults, plenty of vegetables for fiber, and no sugary or refined additions. If you try this for a week, use the 60-90-minute hunger test to fine-tune portions. If you're still hungry too soon, add a little more protein or vegetables. If you're overly full or uncomfortable, reduce added fats. Small adjustments are how sustainable changes are made. If you found this useful, subscribe so you don't miss my next video where I'll dig into a common question I get from patients. What happens if you eat 4 eggs every day? We'll look at energy, satiety, and practical tweaks for active people. Hit like if this clarified the egg puzzle for you, and leave that comment about what you usually pair with eggs. I'll address the most common combos in the next video. Eat smart, keep it simple, and let your breakfast work for you, not against you.